was not what she expected in this chilling debut novel. I don't think I've read a Melissa Larson at all, so this would be my first one. In the wake of her father's death, Betty Rue doesn't allow herself to mourn. Instead, she pushes away her mother, breaks up with her boyfriend, and leaves everything behind to move to New York City. She doesn't know what she wants except to run. When she's offered a chance to play the leading role in mysterious indie filmmaker Anthony Marino's new project, she jumps at the opportunity. For a month, Betty will live in a cabin on a private island off the coast of Maine as part of a 5-person cast and crew. Her mother warns against it, but Betty is too drawn to the charismatic Anthony to say no. She's given a new identity, Lola, and Betty tells herself that this is exactly what she's been looking for, a chance to reinvent herself. That is until they begin filming and she meets Sammy, the island's caretaker, and Betty realizes just how little she knows about the movie and its director. This sounds so good. I read a book with a similar trope by, I think her name is Sarah Goodwin. And, God, what was that one called? I don't know. I'll have to, but it was so good. It was so good. I might not even have the author's name right. Stranded. It was called Stranded. So I think I'll like this one as well. And then we've got The Fever. The Fever, The Fever, The Fever. The Fever by Megan Abbott, author of Dare Me. I have not read Dare Me. I know I've read a Megan Abbott before. The Fever holds true to its title. It's dark, disturbing, strangely beautiful, and utterly unshakable, says Gillian Flynn. Deanie Nash is a diligent student with a close-knit family. Her brother Eli is a hockey star, and her father is a popular teacher. But when Deanie's best friend is struck by a terrifying, unexplained seizure in class, the Nash's seeming stability dissolves into chaos. Soon, more local girls start to experience bizarre symptoms, leaving health officials puzzled and parents in an uproar as hysteria and contagion swell. A series of tightly held secrets emerges, threatening to unravel friendships, families, and the town's fragile idea of security. A chilling story about guilt and the lethal power of desire, The Fever affirms Megan Abbott's reputation as one of the most exciting and original voices of the generation. So, like, I don't know, the cover, is it saying, like, it's coming from the water? I don't know. But that is The Fever by Megan Abbott. And then we have an OG right here, Paula Hawkins. Into the Water by Paula Hawkins. Secrets can pull you under. A single mother turns up dead at the bottom of the river that runs through town. Earlier in the summer, a teenage girl met the same fate. They are not the first women to lost to these dark waters, but their deaths dredge up secrets long submerged. Left behind is a lonely 15-year-old girl suddenly in the care of an aunt she's never met, and a woman who has been dragged back to the place she deliberately ran from, a place to which she vowed she'd never return. With the same propulsive writing and acute understanding of the human instincts that captivated millions of readers around the world in her explosive debut, Girl on the Train Paul Hawkins delivers an urgent, twisting, deeply satisfying read that hinges on the deceptiveness of emotion and memory, as well as the devastating ways that the past can reach a long arm into the present. Beware of a calm surface. You never know what lies beneath. That is Into the Water by Paula Hawkins. Now, the last book I read by Paula Hawkins I did not like. I can't remember the title of it, so I hope that this one is... I loved Girl on the Train, though, so hopefully this is more along those lines. Now, those are all like kind of watery, right? This one is very dry. And that is The Lost Man. The Lost Man by Jane Harper. The Lost Man by Jane Harper. isolated belt of Queensland, Australia, their homes a 3-hour drive apart, the brothers were one of the area's nearest neighbors. Cameron was the middle child, the one who ran the family homestead, but something made him head out alone under the unrelenting sun. Nathan, Bub, and Nathan's son returned to Cameron's ranch, and those left behind by his passing, his wife, his daughters, and his mother, as well as their longtime employee and 2 recently hired seasonal workers. While they grieve, Cameron's lost, suspicion starts to take hold, and Nathan is forced to examine secrets the family would rather leave in the past, because if someone forced Cameron to his death, the isolation of the outback leaves few suspects. A powerful and brutal story of suspense set against a formidable landscape. The Lost Man confirms that Jane Harper is one of the best new voices writing today. I have not read a Jane Harper. This would be my first. And then we've got, I think this one might be more of a mystery. Oh, it is. It's a classic Japanese murder mystery. And it's not even the first one in a series, but it's the one I have, so it's the one that I'll read. It says, it's called Death on Gokuman Island by Seishi Yokomizo. I hope I said that right. It's giving Grudge right here. The rock-bound and forbidding Gokuman Island was once a pirate stronghold. Now it is home to clannish fishing communities dominated by 2 feuding families. When Kosuke Kindaichi arrives bringing news of a death, it triggers a series of grotesquely staged murders. The scruffy detective attempts to untangle the island's secrets and stop the killings, but a fresh mystery seems to greet him at every turn, and soon he falls under suspicion himself. I just love the covers of this series. Hopefully I can pick up more. I mean, I'll read this one first, make sure I like it, but hopefully I can pick up more in the series. Okay, we're back to watery stuff. Palm trees, water, island storms, and this one is called Always the First to Die, a novel by R.J. Jacobs. One movie set, one stranded cast. So we're doing that trope again. One person ready to make them all pay. For Lexi, the Pinecrest estate has become a place of horror, the dilapidated manor house in the Florida Keys. Once the site of her teenage movie debut is now haunted by memories of working on a legendary horror director's most famous film and of a terrible death that propelled them all into infamy. And ever since Lexi fled the Keys, she has vowed to never return. Until years later, her daughter escapes the Pinecrest in search of answers, right when a Category 4 hurricane hits the southern coast. Now Lexi is back on the ravaged island with only a few remaining behind, and soon enough her life begins to resemble the plot of her most famous film. And this time she's not sure who will make it out alive. So we've got several tropes in here. We've got the storm trope. We've got the past coming back to haunt trope. We've got the film, the horror film trope. it seems, in this delectable, suspenseful novel of friendships, romance, so there is some romance, and betrayal on the Riviera. Belle likes to think herself immune to the dizzying effects of fabulous wealth. But when her best friend Summer invites her on a glamorous getaway to the Mediterranean aboard her billionaire boyfriend's yacht, the only sensible answer is yes. Belle hopes the trip will be a much-needed break from her stalled acting career and uniquely humiliating waitressing job. But once she's aboard the luxurious Lion's Den, it soon becomes clear that this jet-setting holiday is not as advertised. Belle's dream vacation quickly devolves into a nightmare as she and the handful of other girls Summer are are treated more like prisoners than guests by their controlling host, and in one terrifying moment, Belle comes to see Summer for who she truly is, a vicious gold digger who will stop at nothing to get what she wants. Belle realizes she's going to have to keep her wits about her and her own big secret closely hidden if she wants to get off that yacht alive. Doesn't that sound good? That is The Lion's Den by Catherine St. John. Okay, we're down to our last two. This one is called The Club. The Club. I think it's a Reese's Book Club pick. The Club. Inner Club. Everyone's dying to join by Ellery Lloyd. There's no place like home. The group is glamorous. It's a glamorous collection of celebrities, members, clubs dotted across the globe. Oh, it's called the Home Group. Okay, where the rich and famous can party and then crash out in its 5-star suites, far from the prying eyes of fans and the media. It's giving Diddy a little bit, right? It's giving Diddy White Party a little bit. The most spectacular of all is the island home, a closely guarded, ultra-luxurious resort just off the English coast, and its 3-day launch party is easily the most covered A-list invite of the decade. But behind the scenes, tensions are at a breaking point. The ambitious and expensive project has pushed the Home Group's CEO and his long-suffering team to their absolute limits. All of them have something to hide, and that's before the beautiful people with their own ugly secrets even set foot on the island. As tempers fray and behavior worsens, as things get more sinister by the hour and the body count piles up, some of the island home's members will begin to wish they'd never made the guest list. But at this club, if your name is on the list, you're not getting out. So that sounds amazing. And then the last one I'm hesitant to read because I've only read one book by this author and I DNF'd it. But a lot of people love it, so I still want to try it, and that is The Last Time I Lied. The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. And the book that I DNF'd was, oh god, it was the one where the girl was staying at a prestigious Manhattan Apartments or something. I can't remember the name of it. But this one was before. This is a book of the month. It's from July 2018. Two truths and a lie. The girls played it all the time at their cabin in Camp Nightingale. Vivian, Natalie, Allison, and first-time camper Emma Davis, the youngest of the group. But the games ended the night Emma sleepily watched the others sneak out of the cabin into darkness. The last she or anyone saw of them was Vivian closing the cabin door behind her, hushing Emma with a finger pressed to her lips. Very sinister-like. Now a rising star in the New York art scene, Emma turns her past into paintings, massive canvases filled with dark leaves and gnarled branches that cover ghostly shapes in white dresses. When the paintings catch the attention of Francesca Harris White, the wealthy owner of Camp Nightingale, she implores Emma to return to the newly reopened camp as a painting instructor. Seeing an opportunity to find out what really happened to her friends all those years ago, Emma agrees. Familiar faces, unchanged cabins, and the same dark lake haunt Nightingale. Even though the camp is opening its doors for the first time since the disappearances, Emma is even assigned to the same cabin she slept in as a teenager, but soon discovers a security camera, the only one on the property, pointed directly at its door. Then cryptic clues that Vivian left behind about the camp's twisted origins begin surfacing. present, and the closer she gets to the truth about Camp Nightingale and what really happened to her friends, the more she realizes that closure could come at a deadly price. A deadly price. So that is Riley Sager's Last Time I Lied. Okay, so that was 10 possibilities. If I had to pick which one I'm going to read,